Hi everybody, this is Money Mom. Hope y'all are having a good night. I'm doing a second video tonight of a subject I feel led to talk about. Can you live off one income? Or how can you live off one income? Either of those, you can use that as a title. But I'm going to talk about that this evening. I grew up in the 1970s, the time of the pensions, when you had good benefits, and when you kept a job for a long time. I grew up in the Twin Cities, the St. Paul, Minneapolis area. My dad was a truck driver and a teamster. He had really good benefits. We had good health, dental, vision. You know, he has an excellent retirement program. And we had a lot of 3Mers in our neighborhood. And, you know, you kept a job for a really, really long time. As we know, nowadays it's a lot different. So, can you, excuse my eye, can you live off one income? I think, first, my answer to that question is, depends on the income, and it depends what your budget and your cost of living and what you spend your money on and what your budget and your bills are. That's my actual answer to that. I do think it's doable, and I'm going to tell you the 5 ways that I think that it can be done. Let's take a couple that maybe the woman wants to stay home with her children, and she says, you know, after all this running around and daycare, I feel our quality of life isn't very good. I'd like to stay home and live off your income. Or perhaps the dad wants to be a stay-at-home dad. So, let's go through, and I wrote down 5 ways that that can possibly be done. If the couple hasn't done it yet, they could sit down, make sure that they have a budget in place, look at everything that they're spending their money on, see if there's any money or budget items that can be cut out, subtract it all, and see what do they have left over after the end of the month. Now, even if you live on a smaller budget, you want to make sure you have money left over, because as we've talked about in so many videos, we always want to have money to put into sinking funds and savings. So if you have money left over, that's a good thing. Then, next thing you want to do is make sure that your savings are padded and your sinking funds are padded, so you've got things that you can fall back on. That's very important, so that you can live off that one income. Number 3. I talked about this in one of my videos, and some of you thought it was a good idea. See if there's any items that you're needing now. So let's say it's the wife that's going to resign from her job so that she can spend more quality time with the children and they can have a better quality life. And she kind of feels like she's not bringing home a lot after all the traveling, childcare, and costs. So the best thing I think would be to see if there's anything that they're needing, like tires replaced or something that's kind of a need, and do that maybe before she quits her job. I think that that could really help the family. Okay, number 4, do a practice run. In other words, once you've done that, take the wife's income, in this case, put it all in savings, sinking funds, and all of that, and live off the husband's income for a few months and see how it goes first before just going cold turkey. I think that could be helpful. Number 5, and this is a big one. I do believe you can live off one income, but I also don't like the idea of putting all your eggs in one basket. So say if the mom or the dad is a stay-at-home parent, I always think it's good to have some side hustles. Let me give you an example. One of my shoppers, his wife stays home with 2 children that are under the age of 5. They make enough on his income to live, but they like to have some extra money for things that may come up, such as a vacation or something of that nature. And I don't know their exact budget, but I'm just going by this. So on the side, he makes about $800 a month doing some mystery shopping. So, and that was just an example of a side hustle. I know of another family that he does some Ubering on the weekends and makes some extra money. He goes to an area where they really require a lot of Uber driving, in an area where there's bars and things, and he gets several calls, so he makes some good money on weekends as an Uber driver. So this way you have a little extra source of income. For example, when my daughter was young, my husband had a job outside the home, and I stayed home because I didn't want to put my daughter in daycare. Now, we only have the one. She's 19 right now. And so what I did is on weekends I did product demonstrations. And this brought in some extra money. My husband wasn't working on the weekends, so he stayed home with my daughter, so we didn't have to pay childcare. So I did demos on the weekends. I occasionally did some babysitting and got paid for that. And then I started scheduling mystery shopping when my daughter was 6 months old. So all those side gigs and incomes really help make a difference. So that would be number 5. Even if you can live off the one income, I think it's always good to have the side. So that's what I say about that. Before letting you go, I want to tell you about 2 channels. One's called the Hustling Homemaker. She did a video on how their family lives off one income, and she gives some excellent points. I'm going to link her below, and she's adorable. Her name is Cameron. She lives in Virginia. The next person I'm just starting to get to know, it's a website called A Merry Life. And they just paid off their car, so they're car debt free, and she is so excited about it. And she found out she's going to have a baby girl, so I'm really excited for her. Tomorrow is Free and Frugal Friday, which I'll tell you about a couple things I got. And I'm going to do a bonus video on why I'm doing YouTube, and it'll be a short video. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I really appreciate your time, and I love you very much. Bye-bye.